What's going on, family?
We here,
We made it back.
man.
Been a long time. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I still know how to do this or if I ever did, but
This feels
I feel
weird.
like it's been a minute.
This
Long
feels
time.
weird.
How's everyone doing? Ish is back. Already here, my faithful brother. Good to see you, man.
He's in the house.
Yes, sir. Man, it's been a long time.
What's
Bro.
going on?
Feel like I haven't
What's
seen
up?
you in forever, dog.
This is true.
Crazy.
This is very true. Just changing a couple things around here.
Pops
Yeah,
in the
man.
chat.
What's
Welcome
going
back.
on, Pop? What's going
Welcome,
on,
welcome back.
everybody?
How you feel? You feel like you'll be able to shake off the rust or
I'm
what?
lost right now, man.
Yeah,
Where do I
bro.
look?
Where how do we do
Right
this?
there. Right there. That's where I
funny,
gotta
man.
look.
Nah, glad to be back. I think we got sick the week after the Super Bowl, and we had the Super Bowl before, so
Yeah,
we trust God.
whew,
Yeah.
I was out bad, bro.
Yeah, right. Me too, bro.
I was out bad, family. I don't
think
know
a
what I
lot
had.
of people caught whatever we had. It was going around. Everybody I was talking to had a flu or something.
I was a little jealous because I don't think people got it how I did.
Yeah, it was bad, rough.
Nah,
I was rough, dude.
That
I
was
feel
a
you.
trial in my life. That
You
was a
did a
trial.
You didn't know you were gonna make it through.
Yeah, but for 3 days, bro. For 3 days, fever, but like a blowtorch was hitting my airway,
Yeah, nah, I never got fever. Thank God.
and it was just pain, aches.
Mm.
I haven't been sick like that in quite a few years. So that was tough. I still hear it in my voice. I'm still coughing, family. If I cough, forgive me. But when I say cough, I feel like I want to cough. Hold on.
Ain't it crazy though when you get
like-
sick like that to that level where your brain goes? There's times where it's just like, yo, it's hard to even be alive. It's like, yo, this is tough living right here.
I'm so grateful for what I once had, and I want it back.
Right.
When you're in the middle,
I just
want
to be healthy again. Like not dealing with this. This is hard to live through.
Lord, bring me back, please.
ASAP. Deliver me, Lord. Bring the healing.
That was rough, bro. That's a quick revelation for sure. But I don't know, man. It's just like I'm like somebody that like wants to ride out the storm, so I don't want the meds. But then it gets to the point where it's like I have to.
Yeah. Give me the meds ASAP. I take the meds the moment I feel my nose start to like tingle, itch, or I start to feel something in my throat, and I think I'm gonna get sick. Let me start hitting the flu medicine now because I don't want to deal with none of that.
I need to be that person because I think I was a little bit too late, and then it was just suffering. For sure.
Got you.
But I also had to go to work, unfortunately, some of those very sick days because my PDO was low. So I had to grind that out.
They let you go to work like that? Were you just spreading that stuff all through?
Nah, I mean, I masked up.
Right,
I made sure to like wash my hands, you know what I mean? But I would go suffer in the bathroom, clean up. And try to get
you just reminded me. So I went out with my wife, happened to be right on Valentine's, bro. I got sick the day before, the 13th. It's like when it hit me the hardest, like that night. Like, I'm like, oh man, at night, I'm like, I got a date with the wife tomorrow, but I might have to cancel. But we had already bought tickets to a play in Dr. Phillips, a couple hundred that we already bought, can't refund.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, this always happens on one of our date nights. It's always something. Either she's sick or I'm sick or something comes up. And I'm like, yo, it got real bad to where like, I'm not gonna be able to go. But then the next day it was more, I could tolerate it a little bit, but it was still rough. But mind you, like I told you from the very beginning, I started taking medicine right away. Like I don't play. I'm like, yo, I'm on it every 4 hours, drinking my medicine because I don't like to deal with none of that stuff. Whew. And we got there. The play started like 7:30 at night. And mind you, this play is like a retelling of a book. So it's a long story that they're trying to cut down in 3 hours because they have intermission and everything. It's like a long play, 3 hours, but you still have a lot to tell. So the first 10, 20 minutes of the play, they're like jumping scenes and skipping and moving fast to kind of get the story to flow to where they need it so that they have enough time to do bro, in those 10, 20 minutes when they're like jumping and I don't even know what's happening at the same time. It's like when my sickness started hitting peak. So the
Ooh.
room, the whole like Dr. Phillips Center started spinning on me. So
Oh
I'm
my
like spinning.
God.
I'm trying to, they're like just like moving quick, lights flashing. Like, you know, when you're out of it, bro. I'm like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this thing tonight.
That's insane.
But then they calmed down, my fever calmed down, started breathing. Like, all right, we good. I had tissue everywhere. Like, yeah, not good, bro. But
That's
we
crazy.
made it.
Yeah, man, it was tough. Did you get checked or anything like that? Did you know exactly what it was?
Nah, I didn't go get checked.
Me
It's just a
neither.
flu. As soon as I feel my nose, so my nose is like a big indicator of what I usually have. So usually when I have flu, or whatever, I have this weird, like
Mm,
icy cold tingling that kind of goes down here. So anytime I start to feel that, I already know, oh, this is like a flu or a cold, and it never fails. Like I always get it the same way.
it's
So it's like
crazy.
the usual one that I usually get every few years or whatever.
There's a couple things moving around out there. A buddy of mine ended up being super unlucky. He got like flu A, flu B, and COVID all at the same time. Yeah, it was like super unlucky. And then I hear like in the other side of the world, there's been a watch on something called the Nipah virus.
A different strand or what?
And Nipah virus, I guess, is some type of respiratory illness. Haven't looked up too much on it, but it was kind of been moving around India. But they had kept a watch on it. I haven't heard anything here in the States, but it's just everybody's on alert, you know, when you start hearing a new name of a new virus somewhere. It's
That's
like,
always that's the media, bro. Not that it's the media because it's a real thing, but every few months or whatever they have a new virus, a new strand that everybody's freaking out at. And if you consume it all, every 4 or 5 months, you're gonna be freaking out.
you ever watch
Like
that movie Outbreak?
I love that movie. I
That
watched that
movie
growing
was
up as a kid.
that movie just
Love that
traumatized me.
movie.
Yeah.
What was his name? I forgot the little monkey's name.
The monkey, yeah, you remember the monkey every
Yeah,
time.
the little monkey. Wait, who was that? What's his name?
I forget the dude. He was in a lot of movies back in the day.
He was a lot of movies, but good movie, really good movie. But nah, as a kid, you watch that, and that freaks you out. That movie was
Yes.
scary because you start
That
thinking
was like
yo,
before we even really witnessed.
right?
Esther, what's up?
What up? What up? Say by
Hey,
Grace in the
Grace.
house
Yo,
too.
yo. What's
Welcome,
going on,
welcome.
fam? Hope everybody's feeling good.
Yeah, so we got a topic that we're gonna cover today. Inspired by one of our very own
Yeah.
Worthy Conversations family, you know. Part of the crew. She helps out with all the social media and everything. She brought Yesenia, Isaac's wife, brought a topic that she saw Lecrae talk about approaching some of the loss. I thought it was very interesting, very good on how we approach the loss. I saw the video a little bit, and I think they were just talking about a lot of times, and I grew up in this, seeing this a lot, where depending on how you approach somebody, if you're approaching somebody lost, some people criticize you for not being, harsh enough, not bringing that law quick enough. They call it sugarcoating or whatever. And I think it's an interesting topic, and we'll go into why or why not. When I feel like certain things are necessary, in my opinion, and other times there's different approaches, in my opinion, and we'll get into it specifically. But that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit today, and hopefully it can shed some light and help others in that want to share their faith, and I don't know, help us grow in that area. What you think, bro?
Absolutely. I'm excited to get into that. Before then, though, what's up with chat? Any updates? Anything exciting? Anything in life?
We are trying to do a little bit different today too. Cover a little topic. We don't know how long we're gonna go today. Until our chat can grow a lot bigger, where we have a lot more engagement as far as you guys have people to talk with, maybe other people you never met before. You're introducing yourself in the chat, and everybody's vibing and stuff like that. We do want to just start bringing a little bit more topics that are a little bit more thought out, kind of carry the conversation a little bit, versus our original plan was always just to do the live streaming, go based off of how everybody's feeling in the chat and, what everybody's bringing up. But until we get to that level where there's enough topic and enough flow, we could definitely uh moderate it a little bit.
For sure. So, crazy. Nah,
Lecrazy.
that's what
How
I
you
call
know
it.
about Lecrae? Let's start with that, bro. How long you been following Lecrae?
So, it's hard to put a year on it, but I want to say that I really like got deeper into Lecrae's music around 17, 18 years old. And that was kind of like the time that I was leaving secular music, had like this radical change with secular music. And I kind of did like what probably most Christians did was, switch up from Christian hip hop, or excuse me, from hip hop to Christian hip hop,
That
rap.
was a thing in our day. I feel
Yeah,
like I don't know if it happens as much anymore like that, but for our time, it was like hip hop was number one,
number one.
and
Yeah,
you would switch over to Christian
yeah.
hip. What I had, because I'm older than you, was some
Right.
group called Cross Movement. I don't know if you remember them. Cross Movement, The Ambassador, The Truth.
It sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
that's
Truth,
kind of what
actually,
we
I think
jumped
I've heard
into.
of.
Yeah, that's kind of what we
Is that
jumped
his
into.
name, The Truth?
The Truth. Yeah, I think it's with a
Like
D.
DA?
DA. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So I heard a little
The
bit of his.
Truth or whatever. But
Um,
Lecrae was in there. He was way younger than
I
he
felt
is
like
now.
at the time he was the only one holding it down. Like he was
He definitely was the one that stood out more than
right.
some of the other more.
Yeah.
I don't want to label it anything, but it was just the one that stood out the most, I guess is the way I
Yeah.
could say it. Yeah,
He felt like he was holding that genre down the most.
for sure, for a
And
long
so
time.
I listened to a lot of him, and then it quickly kind of like it quickly went into like the other guys like Triple E and Danny Minos and some of the more underground, not as popular kind of guys. So, but Lecrae was definitely the one, and it was for me. Lecrae always had like really good messages in his music early on, and so I like that because it was always negative messages with the other secular music, secular rap and stuff. So listening to that was definitely refreshing to the ear. So I definitely been listening to him for many years, many albums, a lot of his mixtapes. I feel like I liked a lot of his mixtapes more. And then it got into kind of like when he would drop an album, there would be like a hand selected few that I would really enjoy over the others, because what artists do is like they try to dip into different types of sounds, and some of them weren't as appealing to me. But
yeah, I mean, for
From
me,
right
I didn't
away.
stay long into Christian hip hop like that. There was maybe like one song of his that I followed, but then I never really followed after that. A lot. I think his song which was dope was, I think it was called "Praying for You," and it's kind of like a song that he starts talking about, like, he's praying for his boy and his boy's struggling and all that, and then at the last verse, he's like, "This whole time I really been praying about myself," or whatever.
Yeah,
So
that was the one.
that was a fire one. Yeah, that was dope. I'll always like that one. But I know he's been having out a lot of his podcasts and stuff like that, but I never really followed him like that.
Yeah.
But I have seen some of his stuff like trending, or some of the topics out there with everything that's going on in the world. So I know he has a good following, good fan base, and I feel like he struggled a lot. A lot of time his music does struggle with that inner turmoil, that inner battle, which I feel is very relatable to some of us more than I do know like some brothers and sisters in Christ who I don't feel struggle as much, either with the flesh or with other things. Not that they don't, they probably do, and maybe they do it more quietly or whatever, but he's always very transparent in his lyrics, I feel like. So I always respected that. I thought it was dope. To always, you know what I mean, show that vulnerability of like, yo. And I feel like because he comes from that walk and that angle, I very much come from that side too. And so when I heard him, when Yesenia brought this up, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally feel that. I've always felt like that, where like, yo, you have to approach somebody who's a sinner or you're trying to minister to a certain way. Like, yo, you can't sugarcoat it, because if not, you're like, I don't know, soft gospel or whatever. Like, they have to first record. And I do understand that one of the biggest points that they try to make on the other side is that, if somebody doesn't know that they're sick, then they're never going to realize they're in need of a doctor, right? If you don't know you have a sickness, you can't come to terms that you have an illness, then you don't really see the true need that you need a doctor. You need someone to heal you. And it's kind of like that. Like, if you don't know that you're a sinner, you don't know the sin that's in you, then you're not going to realize that you need a savior. You know what I'm saying? To save you from that sin. That's what he's ultimately saving us. And I get that. But there is more of a misunderstanding because I have seen people abuse it. People who are coming from a good heart, who they think they're right, but they're coming off opposite of what Paul says in the Bible. And Paul is very clear, like, do all things with love. You know, be gentle. It's very specific, and I feel like they forget that. Like, not that you have to be soft, and just like and if you're in a debate, that's a whole different arena. And I feel like that's where people start to muddy the waters. They don't know which arena they find themselves in. Like, are you trying to build a relationship with someone? Are you trying to minister to somebody? Or are you trying to debate? Or is this a debate now where you're trying to, you know, be apologetic and bring points and debate creation versus evolution? Or, you know what I mean? These are all different arenas. And when you start trying to like approach it all in a certain way, I feel like it can not be as fruitful. But then again, there's the other side of like, God is ultimately the one who does the saving, right? And he could use our words in spite of how we approach it. But I do feel like Christ models in different encounters with people, different approaches for presenting the gospel and for how to interact with others. What do you think?
So I want to kind of pull up the video, but I'm going to do it the getaway. I'm going to see if I can just play what he said inside of the mic here. Give me 1 second here.
I sit on my patio and vent for a second. Let me tell you something that frustrates me. Sometimes I'm trying to be loving and gracious with people who don't share my faith, and then the loudest pushback comes from the people who do share my faith. Y'all ever experienced this? Like, you're trying to be caring and loving to somebody, and then other folks are like, "You're not aggressive enough. You're not confrontational enough. More turn and burn." And they critique you of compromising, when the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, aren't we supposed to be known by our love? Now, love does confront, but that's not how you meet somebody. Can you imagine walking up to somebody being like, "How you doing? What you believe?" "Oh, you're going to hell." That's crazy. We should be able to sit with people who see the world completely different than we do and not freak out. We should be able to listen without feeling like we're going to lose a battle. I mean, we might even learn something. Can you imagine? I can't tell you how many things I've learned from people who do not share my faith. Scary. And what I've found in my experience, relationship has done something that arguments can never do. It built trust. And when people trust you, you don't have to force your authority because they give it to you. They say, "Well, you know better than I do. Tell me this about your faith. Tell me this about Jesus." Now, when they wrestle, they're not talking to an opponent. They're actually talking to a friend. And then they don't meet volatility. They meet compassion. They meet patience. I think about Jesus at the well, with the woman at the well, and he didn't shame her thirst. He offered her some water. Like, what if instead of condemning people for being thirsty, what if you gave them something to drink? Can I sit on my patio and
Fire. So, just for some more context.
I like that. That's a bar. See, that's the rapper in Lecrae.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know what I'm saying, complaining about their thirst, how about you give them something to drink? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that, man. I see one of the things too that have been so prominent in certain denominations of churches. I'm not gonna shout out like which denominations, but it's like you almost can't get infected with like the sinners around you. Like, you can't they have no tough skin to be around sin in a way where like it's not gonna seep in or overtake or you're like validating it for being around it or whatever. I know people like, "Yo, oh, my family member, whatever, they're drinking wine or something like that. Like, oh, I can't even be around there," and you can't build this relationship. And it's like, I don't know. That is tough to me, where it's because you do have to build a relationship. Jesus was sitting with the tax collectors, right? He wasn't like, "Oh, their tax collecting is gonna rub off on me," or, you know what I'm saying? He was the light to come in there, to change that, to bring forth that light, to have higher authority than what that darkness they were dwelling in.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because a lot of popular replies that I've heard from what you just said about how Jesus, biblically, he was with amongst the sinners, people will be quick to say, well, he was Jesus, you're not. You know what I mean? Like they'll use that on you. And I think there does need to be an understanding there a little bit, where if I'm a baby Christian new in my faith, I'm not going to probably tackle on a room full of sinners, right?
If I'm alcoholic, I shouldn't be probably around alcohol in that sense.
Right. There's a process, there's a journey, there's a maturity,
and that's
the word. And it was interesting that we're on this topic. I was talking to a brother at work, and every time we pass each other, we always end up getting into like theological things. And he opened up about something that we both were opening up with stuff, but he was saying that he had came from a certain type of life, and then his family was very extreme, and so in that extreme nature, they would make him feel less than because he was easing his way out of something, or he found a new understanding, like drinking, for instance, with the whole wine thing. Like the Bible alludes to it being drunkenness, and we don't play with that, especially if you know who you are. Like I can understand that, but that goes with the topic of like tattoos and all these different things. So there can be like this very huge extreme that in our presentation, when we're talking to people who do not know Christ, that if you come overly zealous without love, it actually might deter them away. It might do harm. Yeah, it might do harm than it is doing good. And I've experienced that. I've also been on both sides of that, right? If I'm being 100, like,
of course,
I've been the person to be very
extreme. Me too.
And then I've also been a person who, has struggled with a certain thing in my life. And in my baby understanding, I imposed a lot more. I don't want to say but my convictions were a lot more aggressive because of misunderstanding. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah,
you're doing it out of you think you're doing the right thing and out of love, and
and then
because you haven't fully grasped that love, you haven't got that maturity yet.
Right. And as I wrestle with the text a little bit more, and as a spirit, it kind of shows me a lot more. It's like, wow, from who I was then in the word to who I am now in the word. Like in that maturity, in that journey, I see things so much more differently now. And it's tough because as a more mature Christian, I can't say I'm the most mature Christian. I don't ever think I'll ever take that label, but being more mature, it's like I have to show grace to the babier Christians I know that at some point, if they stay in the word, if they stay in maturity, they'll see the very similar understanding that we're seeing now as you journey on with this intimate relationship with Christ, right? Like he does that for you. And so a lot of what I think Lecrae is saying is that, I want to say, and this is just me thinking, I want to say that it is the newer Christians that kind of don't have that understanding of their execution of the gospel, of this love, of this mercy that we're trying to. There's this flesh component that we're trying to figure out with the spirit. We've never done this before. And so it was like, oh, you're drinking. Oh, you're doing this. You're smoking. Oh, you're tatted up. Oh, you're wearing that. Oh, you're doing that. Oh, it's like, yo, you're worldly. You know what I mean? Like you can just eviscerate people with the tongue, in the Bible. In the book of James, it talks about that, right? It's such an aggressive thing. So,
and saying that you're worldly, it's completely forgetting where you came from. Right. We were worldly. We were there once. And that's the compassion that you really should have. And obviously, like you said, mature Christians, deep Christians know this, right?
Yeah.
There's somebody who I feel like who does it very well, who is Ray Comfort. And he goes out and he preaches the gospel and presents the law really fast. But his thing is, right, these people I'm never going to see again. I'm going to, I'm walking by the beach and I'm out there open air preaching, and he's, and he's doing it that way. And like, it's almost like, and I don't want to compare this to like a sales pitch or nothing like that, because that's not what we're trying to do. You're ultimately caring about somebody's soul. But it's like an elevator pitch where like, I might never see a business person. I might have to say who I am, what I'm selling real quick in 30 seconds versus like, I could get a meeting with this company, build a relationship with them little by little, 4 or 5 meetings in, then, I could hear something in the background.
Sorry.
No, you're cool. I just want to make sure. So it's the same thing where it's like, maybe if I'm never going to meet somebody again, and this is the only time I'm going to come across this person and I don't have time to build a relationship with them, then yeah, maybe I could present the gospel and the law and everything as quick as I can, and like pray that, you know what I'm saying, that conviction happens. But if it's somebody like from work, like, you know how much more fruitful it's going to be? Like, I have months to build with this person. I have time to like associate, to get to know their lives, to really care and come in like that. Then that's a whole different approach. Not that, of course, you're going to present the gospel, but you don't have to do it, the super fast, super aggressive, touch every basis that first time. You know what I'm saying? You actually care about them. You build relationship with them, and you gradually just disciple them.
Yeah.
That's what discipleship is. It's like you see Jesus right away. Like, he was living for 3 years with his disciples, and at the end of it, they still were like lost. They still were chopping someone's ear off, booking, until that Holy Spirit came in the upper room and all that. It takes a while. It takes, and they're seeing miracles, and it still has implications of like growth happens over time, and we see it even in our own lives. Like, we look back, it's like, yo, I'm not perfect. How long did it take me to get over a certain struggle? For some people, they might have been able to break, like me, I was able to break my music habits, whatever, like day one, soon as not. But then there's other habits that, like, yo, it takes me a minute, where you might have been able to break that habit quick, but struggle with the music thing. The music has more of a grip on you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We all have different battles, and to forget like how much we battle and how sinful we are ourselves is, you know, it could be hypocritical in that, and that'll definitely do a lot of hurt to unbelievers.
Yeah. I want to shift just a little bit, not too far away, but I want to hear what you have to say on this one. Something else can also happen with having an intimate relationship with somebody, knowing who they were or their past, just having a long life with them, and seeing their ups and downs, knowing that they were a church goer, they were heavily invested in church, intimate relationship with Christ. They were very fruitful. You saw that. And then they fell off the path. I feel we got to be major delicate here. Okay. Because I feel like I've had people very intimate in relationships that I've had intimate relationships with, and I call them brothers, and they've fallen off the path. And it's like, how is my approach going to be to someone that I love? Like, I got to be very careful here, because they're in a vulnerable position. Am I going to fire like, oh, you shouldn't be doing X, Y, Z. You shouldn't be doing this. You got to pray. You got to do, like, you know, this, like, your approach has to be so sensitive here. Because yes, they know this. I understand that. Yes, they know this, but our character is being reflected as well. I feel like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that the more intimate you are involved with somebody, almost the more emotional you can be when they are not walking the path, or they're slipped off a bit, or, you know, like, because you're so comfortable with them, your approach becomes a lot more aggressive than as a brother that you don't know as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? And it's like, because you have this incredible comfortability, and sometimes that happens. I don't know if you can relate to that or speak on that, but I do know that that's something that we have to be very careful with too, because our lives are a little bit of that journey, a little bit of a roller coaster. Our walks with Christ is not always this uphill battle, or always this uphill thing, but
Yeah,
it has valleys.
I think that's the difference is when you're approaching somebody, however you approach it, however God puts it in your heart at that moment to approach it. I truly believe that you have to have that wisdom. If you're not going in prayed up, if you're not going in led by God, then right there is already your first mistake. Right? If you're going in out of arrogance to just like check a box and like, oh, let me impress God because I need to go and do this to seem more righteous. Those are all actually, you know what I'm saying, a sinful approach in even trying to do something good. Like, you could try to do something good with a bad heart and have the opposite effect. And I feel like that's a lot of times what happens. It's, oh, I got to do this to check a box to impress God, and that's what the Pharisees were doing, right? The Pharisees were like, yo, we got to keep anybody saying that they're God or whatever. in check, you know, even though they weren't living a life of holiness, even though they were hypocrites, they were trying to impress God. And so when we go in prayed up, it's so important to like remember like that could be us. Like we always have that mindset, like we could be there next week. We could fall off of grace. We could, you know what I'm saying, find ourselves if we're not diligent, if we're not in prayer, if we're not constantly in that relationship. We have to have that sympathy, right? We just like anything else, and we see these laws in work in every aspect of life, even in business, in relationships, not just in the Christian walk, but like you got to have sympathy, you got to have empathy. This is what good leaders do. You got to be able to empathize, you got to be able to have patience with the people that you're talking with. All these things are like obvious, and then when it comes to like preaching the gospel, all of a sudden we're going to forget all that. We're going to forget having patience, we're going to forget having love, we're going to forget having sympathy, and let's just go in with the hammer and let the hammer miraculously, you know what I'm saying, be the one that out of my righteousness, for me being great and for calling out the sin, that's what's going to change them. That's a prideful thing. That's not what God constantly is about. Planting the seed, right? Watering the seed, the seed, the water, the fruit, all those analogies are something that in that time, the people who were listening would grasp quick that it takes time before harvest. For us, it's like it's harder to understand and grasp because we could go to Publix at any time and there's unlimited apples and lettuce and all the fruits and veggies we want. But back then, it's like when you water, you plant, you know you gotta wait. You know you gotta wait for these things to spring up. They're not always there at the ready. So I do feel like he has a point in that because it has come down. It has come down to where you're always going to get criticized from both sides, and I feel like that's also on the other side of it. It's like there's always going to be someone who could listen to us and criticize. There's always going to be someone who takes the opposite, and we can't expect to not be criticized by some kind of party, by some different approach or opinion, because everybody has different opinions. Everybody has a different level of or a different walk in their life at the moment. So they might be feeling like they're doing it out of righteousness and goodness too. So we got to have patience with them as well. Like, people are going to get like that. People are going to do it like that. But if we continue to walk the way the Bible says, and we start shedding more light on it, I like that he brought it up. I like that he's vocal about it. Then hopefully we could go back to like Spurgeon. Like, yeah, he spoke sin, he spoke that, but he also spoke patience and love and peace and grace. Like, listen to the way he writes and the way he talks. Like, he's one of like the most, like the sweetest words come off the page, like in a way that it's not like, killing or crushing. Like, he's smart, wise, but also sympathetic and empathetic and all that. Like, I don't know. There's a level to it.
I feel like this happens sometimes when some of us, I'm just going to say some of us, when we do lash out in this Christian tone towards people who are worldly or are fallen off, right? Like, there's something in that pride, in that Christian pride, that gets a little bit of fuel. It feels good, right? It feels good to our flesh to be able to put somebody down, lack for better words, put somebody down in the way where lay the law, like this is what it is, and there's something that gets fed there, and it's definitely the ego, it's definitely the pride. But I think there's some Christians that enjoy that. If they're being honest with themselves, they enjoy speaking that way because in some way, shape, or form, it makes them feel good. But when it happens to them, that's a different ballgame.
Thank you, bro. It's so wild. They're very much, we've all been there. And I think this is, again, depending on what denominations or how you've been brought up, where like you're almost trying to earn this, like, I got to keep being holy. I got to keep impressing God. And not that pursuing holiness is a bad thing. We should be pursuing it. But it's in a way of like, we're trying to earn reward or whatever, that it doesn't matter who we cut down. It doesn't matter who we hurt in the path. But when the moment, like you said, when it's them, when it's the sin on their feet get exposed, or they oh, please, everybody have grace and patience with me. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
And I feel that big time, man. It's one of the wildest things is like when I see somebody who's lost, who might be still smoking or whatever, they're just coming off the streets, they're just coming into faith, and they're like, yo, I want to have faith. But then everybody like is like, but you can see the worldliness still a part of them and still heavy in them because they're just, it's like, yo, and we don't treat that person like the way the Bible teaches, where that one lost sheep is what we should be striving for over the people who are already saved, the people who already, the sheep, the other 99 sheep who are in there. We should be treating that one like, yo, let's walk you through this. Let's love you through it. Let's disciple you. Like that one should take priority. There should be a level of like importance that this lost person comes in. And we should really be sensitive to what we're telling them Christ is like, because every action that we take, every word that we choose to minister to them, every behavior, how we interact with them, how we push them away, how we judge them, or even we might try to do something where it's like, well, for my righteousness, I got to keep away, because you're telling them, well, Christ is gonna, for his old holiness, is gonna push him away. And Christ isn't like that. Christ's holiness doesn't get dirty from how close he gets to sinners, or how like that's what he does all day. Christ all day is in the pit with the sinners. Christ all day is grabbing the sinners and in the dirt. And he's not worrying about his holiness because he is holy. And we're holy if we're in Christ, because we're in Christ. And that sin can't, and again, different levels. If we're mature, if we're still baby Christians, yeah, we should stay away from certain things or whatever. But we got to get to that point where like, yo, we need to get dirty. We got to go back to the field. What does Christ say? Like, the harvest is plentiful. The workers are few. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to work from like, yo, come bring yourself, but nobody wants to go get dirty and pull the, you know what I'm saying? They want to shout at the laborers, gather more fruit, go gather this, or you know what I'm saying? But they don't want to be the ones going and doing the hard work, digging the carrots out of the dirt and pulling them out and ripping the weeds off, or whatever it is.
That's good.
But yeah, I don't know where that passion came from. You can tell, like, yo, hold on, I gotta calm down.
Good.
Yo, P, calm down, bro. My bad.
No, that's good. I agree with that 100%. I always feel like when that is spoken out like that, I always feel like we are talking about getting dirty in discipleship, but also if you're called to be a shepherd, a pastor, like that's also needs to be it for you too. You know, you cannot have a flock and not smell like the flock, right? You have to be amongst them. How do you know what's happening amongst your sheep if you're not amongst them? Right. So if you're distance yourself from them, you're not going to hear what's going on. You don't know that one sheep is sick. You don't know what's going on with this one. The sheeps are fighting over here. Like you're farther away from your flock than you should be. And I think in discipleship, if I can share something personal. So I oftentimes have spoken on the channel where I usually minister to a lot of students, patients, and team members at my job. But there's always been something that for me feels, and I know what it is now, but it always felt lackluster. And I think the whole evangelistic approach and trying to be that light in my job, what doesn't come to like this, the intimacy is never fulfilled because these students come and go, right? I'll have an awesome day with them. I mean, I'm praying for them, you know, and you know, I'm teaching. It becomes Bible study sometimes, you know, on our downtime, of course. And I'm like, man, I wish I had this opportunity again. And that's not the case. And so because I have a heart to want to disciple somebody, and I never have the opportunity to be able to continue to have these conversations with people, like I feel like it's hard to call it discipleship for me. It's because I'm not spending any intimate time.
And that's more evangelism. Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, man, my heart is kind of like turning in a way now where it's like, I want to have, I just don't want to be a straight shooter, one shot. I want to be able to, because I see it so fruitful, bro. Like all the time, it's so fruitful to be talking to people. But it's like, man, I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity. Now, I say that, and I say there have been a few that have, we've exchanged numbers, and they've come to me about personal things and, like, prayer, and I'm able to text, and that's awesome. It's amazing. I think I crave it a little more. I
Yeah,
guess what I'm trying to
and I
say.
think that's a good point you bring up, and I feel like, and that's what I was trying to make, trying to clarify a little bit earlier in the conversation, is that you should be able to present the gospel quick and present the law quick. If you know you're
Mm,
never going to see, like, there's different
yes.
arenas that you're going to be in, different moments. You got to be able to adapt. You got to understand, like, hey, is this somebody I could build a relationship with? Is
Mm,
this somebody who, we could take it slow with, that we could really help and grow, and I could actually care for and take interest in?
yeah.
Or is this like, man, I might never see this person again, so let me pray, let me, hey, present you
Mm.
with the law real quick. Have you ever lied? You ever stolen? That's how Ray Comfort does it. It's like some
Mhm.
people have a problem with it, whatever. I always find it cool, like, and then once they admit they lied, sin it, what I'm saying? Like, if you broke the law once, it's just, hey, I'm just trying to tell you, what I'm saying? We're all sinners. We're all sinners. We've all been there. We all need um somebody to save us from the condemnation of what we've done. But on the other side, like, just because I'm not doing that to somebody, and I am taking a slower time, and I am, I'm saying, showing that love to somebody, and man, I really feel like this is somebody who God brought in my life, and
Mm.
our paths crossed at this moment, because there's gonna be a relationship. There is something that's gonna be bigger. You know what I mean? Then you could take it that way too. Like, we can't judge, like, just like everything else, like, and this might sound like it's jumping all over the place, but to me it's related, where we're not all called to evangelize. We don't all have a gift of teaching. That's why Paul says we all have these different gifts. Some of us are teachers. Some of us are, so there might be some people whose real ministry might be to go out in the world and do business, get financially stable and have a lot of success in business, and then go and fund a missionary, or a whole missionary campaign, and share the gospel that way. Like, that might be their talent to
Mm.
to forward the gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has these different calls and different avenues, and
Yeah.
God's gonna make that apparent to that person. But we can't be over here, like, because we have a gift of teaching, judging the ones who are just able to work and so way more into missionaries than we've ever done out here doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to have
No,
that
that's true.
discernment. So
Yeah, that's true. I like the way you said that, forwarding the gospel. Like, we're all equipped, and it looks different. And, the heart should always be to forward the gospel in what we do. Yeah, I like that.
And we got to be
Sure.
careful judging others, man. Judging others without knowing.
Yeah. And I think, if I look back, man, I can really beat myself down for how I executed a lot of things.
Me too, bro. I've been this person. Trust me.
Yeah.
I know from experience, because I was taught that. And I
Yeah.
was taught that that was the right way. But you realize, even when you're doing it, when you're in there, it don't feel right, right? God is putting that in the spirit where it's like,
Like
this ain't it.
that does not
This
the
ain't, if you
approach.
have real discernment, this ain't it like that.
And only he knows your heart's intent behind it. But he's also showing you a lesson, like, hey, I get where your heart is at, but it's the execution. Your heart can be, you could want to shake the gospel into them. You could want to plead and cry and yell, and in that execution, you're gonna fall flat. It
And
has
if
to be with
and,
love
and if
and
you ever
grace.
feel guilty, anybody feels guilty looking back or anything, the great thing about it all of it is the grace that God has, that thank God. The
Yeah.
salvation literally has nothing to do with my ability to present the gospel, how I do it wrong or right. And God knows his sheep. He's going to use us in spite of us. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to mature us and lead us for a reason, because he wants to use us a certain way. But we don't have to look back and be like condemning, right? The Bible says, he doesn't bring the condemnation. That's the enemy, right? He brings conviction. It's something for us to help us grow. It's something for us to move aside from. But it's never like, oh, this person maybe would have got saved if I would have did it different at that point. Like, because it doesn't ultimately, right? We plant the seed, we water it, but God's the only one who makes it grow. So maybe God will use someone else to plant the seed somewhere else later down the line, the right way, or when it needs to be presented for them, for that seed to grow and for that plant to grow. And it's like we could have peace in that. Thank God that it has nothing to do with my ability, and thank God that has nothing to do with me, so that no one can boast. Right? I don't want to brag and be like, look how many people
That was me.
got right. It has nothing to do with me. Zero or God inspired me. Like, God, are you sure you want to use me? Like, nah,
Right.
you got the wrong guy, God. I'm broken. Like, I'm the wrong tool to use. Like, I'm dull. I'm, you know what I'm saying, broken, rusty. I'm no good, God. I'm the worst tool you could choose. And he's like, nah, but that's the tool I want to use. That's what I've chosen to use. Always. He always chooses the worst. Look at David. Look at Paul. Look at, you know what I'm saying? Look
Yeah.
at the examples he chose. He could have picked all these perfect, holy, high standard people or whatever, but he's like, nah, I'm gonna pick a murderer, I'm gonna pick an adulterer, I'm gonna pick, you know what I'm saying? And these are
Perfect in
the
health, perfect in intellect.
right. Nah. All these people, oh, by the way, the 12 disciples I chose, they were all rejected to become rabbis in their upbringing because, you know, Jews and all that. By the 12 or 13, they're all studying the word, and then they get chosen. Do you go work for your father and follow your father's trade, or do you go and study the word? And only the brightest and smartest go follow the word and become priest or whatever. Everybody else goes follow their father's trade, and that's what Jesus picked. He didn't pick from the priests. He picked from all the rejected in that regard.
Yeah. I'm reminded that I a pastor that I listen to a lot, he says his testimony. He says it often, and there's something very interesting about his testimonies that he was suicidal at a point, and he held a shotgun to his head. He was ready to do it, and for some reasons unknown, the door was unlocked of where he was in that apartment, and a girl that used to twist his locks comes in and sees him and says nothing, sits next to him, holds his hand, and spent time there. And then she got up and left. And he calls it a ministry of presence. He's like, I have no idea. He's like, but her presence talked me off that cliff. And I'm like, what?
God used that. And the verse that Jess put in the chat, this is the same one I was thinking of, like, by this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another, how we love each other. It's like people underestimate the actual act of kindness and love. Like, it doesn't speak volumes. And yeah, they could say like, oh, well, non-believers could do that or whatever, but it's not the same, right? You're being sent by God. God is making it a divine appointment or purpose in that regard. And he's using that. And sometimes it's just like, yo, I just having somebody there, somebody who actually loves me, somebody who actually shows they care. Like, beautiful. I love that story.
It's crazy. I want to share this with the chat. Last time I had a student, man, it was a powerful conversation, you know, and I was able to evangelize and minister and all that. And she had been a believer, but probably not the most intimate relationship, had fallen away. Things happen in life. And after, like, I don't know, man, like anybody, most people, some people have said this, where it comes pouring out, like you vomit all this thing, like, you know, when you're evangelizing, ministering. And her reply to a lot of what I said was, how is your faith so strong? I was taken back by that. Like, how is your faith so strong? Like, puzzled at my faith. And the only thing I could answer is like, it's this relationship. It's this radical change. It's a surrender that I gave to him, and how my life changed, and how I'm never letting go, you know?
Yeah.
And I can understand that some people probably haven't got there yet. Some people are probably on their way. Some people haven't surrendered yet. But once you have that, like, whew.
And I feel like
I was puzzled at her question. I'm like, wow.
And I feel like when you ask questions to the non-believer, right, and you're getting at the heart of what they're struggling with, it's like we don't always have to reply with, to their rebuttal or to their points that they're pulling out, but like just caring and listening. Do you ever go into those conversations like, yo, what are they struggling with? Like she sees your faith, like, wow. At that moment, you should ask and be like, why is she asking that?
Right.
Why is she struggling with? Right? We want to go deep. Like, what's
Right.
the real roots? If they bring up, this was a story that was repeated before, like where does that come from, brother? Like, what's the actual hurt behind that? What's the actual, and you dig and you dig, and then you find like the real reason. You don't
And
always
I
have to
did.
address the point. You don't
And I
always have to
did.
address the point. You're able to just right, and you did, and you dug
I
deeper, and
did.
you cared, and you
And
listened.
what came out of the individual, it was a lot. It was a
Right.
lot. And you know, I hope I was there and I prayed through all of it. But I didn't expect that. But I can see where the faith kind of can fade because of what she had been through. So I was able to, you know, the Spirit was able to navigate all that. And they asked for prayer
We don't know what
at the
people
end.
walk through, bro.
They
That
asked for
old
prayer at the end.
saying, don't judge somebody until you've walked a mile in their
For sure.
shoes. It's like we got to get to know these people. We should always be with that approach of not like, how
Yeah.
do I feel like a lot of Christians come in like, well, I got to hit these check boxes. This is how you present the gospel.
Right.
Versus like, yo, how about I just be present and listen to what this person said and then let God tell me what I got to say at that moment. That's biblical, right? It's not like, oh, we're falling off and we could just start making. I'm not saying not know theology, not know your Bible, not know the gospel, not like you need to know these things because you don't want to give false information. You don't have to come with like a preset agenda. You got to get to know this person. You got to get to see what they're living and what their actual struggles is. Hear them out. Get to know them. So then God give you the word because you are going to be well versed, because you are going to be studied, because you know the truth of the gospel. You know the truth of fallen nature and our sinful nature and how much we need a rescuer and all of those things and what Christ did for us on the cross. So let's actually let God tell us and guide us with the knowledge he has equipped us with studying the word, right? Obviously, if you're brand new in faith, the first few years, you might not be as well versed as somebody who's been in the faith for 20 years, studying diligently and learning and letting God shape that knowledge, because a lot of times it's like you can go down. There's other denominations that get too puffed up with wisdom, too puffed up with knowledge. And again, they lose that heart. And I feel like all of that could be avoided if we treat people like actual creation of our King, of our Savior, right? These are God's children at the end of the day. Some people might be revealed to be Satan's children, right, with their wickedness and sinful, but a lot of times this could be somebody who God has appointed to bring into our life for us to be able to be the vessel that God has chosen to use to help them come into the light, to help them come into the kingdom, not because of us, but because of him. He's choosing to use us if we're open that way, if we have that discernment. But that still doesn't mean you shouldn't be well versed and educated in what the gospel is, right? That's the first thing I always tell anybody who's like, you're coming into faith and you're getting like, understand the gospel, stay at the cross. There's nowhere else you need to go right now until you get the gospel, because that's going to be the most important thing. Spurgeon said it the best way, where it's like, he's constantly preaching himself the gospel daily, reminding himself of the God. I need the gospel daily. I need to remember Christ died for my sin on that cross daily. Like if we do that, it helps us in our journey.
That's good. You know, after that conversation with that student, you know, I was brought to tears a little bit because I found myself saying, man, God, like, how far you've brought me. This is not the gospel I was speaking about in the beginning. This is not my approach in the beginning. I was nowhere near this. And to hear how people are receiving this molded thing inside of me as you've worked with me, how I've gotten deeper in the word and how I'm able to answer these questions that I was never able to before, how, you know, that influx of me going into the word and having it ready and available, like it created such a hunger to want to go deeper, right? To want to go deeper into the word. to want to always be so readily available. Because in the Bible, it says that anyone who asks for wisdom, he shall give them, right? But how much more effective can you be when you're in your word? And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about being the guy that's like, oh, chapter, verse, this guy, chapter. That's amazing. You're a beast for doing that, right? Just know it. You know what I mean? Know your word. Because when it comes to somebody asking questions, you're going to be like, oh, this, this story, that story. So I'm not as critical with chapter and verses. Yes, you can. And it helps you. But for me, it's just know it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that was humbling for me, man. And I think a lot of what, now that I'm talking, I'm glad I'm speaking about this, by the way, because a lot of what I enjoy in my job of what I do has been that. I want to be there for the patients, and I love being there for patients. But every evangelistic or ministerial conversation about Christ or anything that has happened with patients, students, new hires, coworkers, man, it feels good. It feels good. And I think that's the best part of my job. But there was one time I do want to share is that there was this one student who was of the opposite faith or the antagonist faith. I use those words because she was Muslim. And another thing, I was more impressed with the Spirit was doing there, because her reply was like, man, I have Christian friends and none of them speak like you. Like, a lot of them are hypocritical. A lot of them say all these things and they doing everything opposite. And she's like, but the way you're speaking about your faith, the way is like, I've never heard this before. But it saddened me, bro.
Right.
It saddened me.
Right. A lot of people don't share their weaknesses. They really walk and they're trying to be as holy, which is good, but you can't forget where you came from. You can't forget how quick we could fall. And if we are walking in this ultimate level of holiness, it's by God's grace, not by our doing, not so that we can boast. It's all a gift of God. So it's always funny to me, like how quick we forget how Jesus was with the woman in the well,
right?
Who was with 7 different men or whatever, and the one she's with wasn't her husband. Now she's had, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Jesus still gave her water. Jesus still like, oh, it's no more my daughter, calls her. You know what I'm saying? That, like, we see it all the time. The sinners he was around. We see Paul saying, like, become all things to everyone. Not that, but he's saying it in a way like, yo, get dirty, get in there. Like, Paul talks about it too. It's not just like, oh, you're like what you mentioned earlier, like someone was like, well, you're not Jesus, right? Well, neither was Paul. And Paul was still in there like, yo, love deeply. If I could speak the tongue of angels, if I could do all this thing, but I have no love, it's worthless. Like, where's the actual love?
That's one
genuinely
of my favorite
care
verses.
about people. Yeah, like genuinely care about people. So I think, like, to kind of close the topic off a little bit, it's just like, remember how Christ loved. You know what I mean? Remember to approach with openness and to have an open mind and to dig deep, connect, right? It's not about winning or closing the deal or checking boxes like, oh, I presented the gospel, I did this. Now, like, have discernment, have connection, show the love, let them feel the love of God, even with words. Like, I'm not saying not to present sin or anything like that, but how you do it, when you do it. You know what I'm saying? Be tactful, be smart, treat them like a human, treat them with respect. You wouldn't just like do that with your kid. With your kid, you're genuinely discipling them, being patient with them when they mess up. Like, of course, you could get angry right away, but you should teach them patience. You should teach them kindness. Show them the things that Christ is. Don't just talk to them about it. Live it. Live it out to the people you're speaking with.
Imagine you being the one going up to the well with the information of this woman. Like, let's say you had a little bit of
no water for you. No, I'm just kidding. Get your cup out of my face.
Imagine that.
Right.
Like, I would like to challenge people. Like, if you came in with the foreknowledge of knowing this woman and everything and all the whereabouts and who she was with and how you would have talked to her.
How you gonna view her? Yeah, just how you
gonna view her? His disciples, his disciples was already bugging out.
He talking to Samaritan. She was just Samaritan. They didn't even know she was cheating and doing all this stuff. They just knew she was just Samaritan.
Right.
Just off natural her association.
Imagine if they knew.
Right, right. Well, what was you doing, Jesus? They slap his cup out his hand.
Yeah.
Don't give it water.
No water for you either. That's
Right,
crazy.
right. No water for you, either of you. It's funny.
Yeah.
That's how I think the disciple, who was it, James or whatever? They call him sons of thunder or whatever. I don't know if you ever seen, but that's funny to me how they were like, yeah, fire, like, yo. He's like, yo, relax. Jesus even like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna bring that up because in some old manuscripts it's not there or whatever. But you know, when he says he wrote in the sand, where's your sinners now? All the manuscripts don't have that, so I don't know if we could use that as much, but that's not the only example of that kind of love in the word. So
that's so humbling for me though, bro, to be able to and you know, like God is so, he's such a beast with this, man. Like to be able, he picked these disciples for a reason. Because when I go and I see the imperfection of these disciples, like it does something to me. It reminds me, like, no, bro, they weren't perfect either. You ain't perfect either. You know, humble yourselves the same way they were trying to be as humble as they could around him. Like they didn't have it all together and they walked with him. So imagine you. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's always like this humbling heart check. Because imagine what kind of Bible would we have if all these disciples were pristine perfect?
And we're not.
Right. Imagine they were.
Right. We'd be cooked. Yeah. But that's the good thing. They're not and we're not. Like you think me and Isaac are like, yo, we struggle so much with certain different things. Like, God, like help me. There's days we're on fire for sure. And we're like, whoo, like then it's so funny how quick a wave can hit one thing all of a sudden, and you find yourself like, God, where are you? What am I doing wrong? Like, I don't even want to pray right now. Like, life got hard, like real fast.
That's fact.
We gotta have accountability. We gotta have brothers and sisters there for us in those moments, and we gotta have love. And God uses that to reawaken us in those moments. Like, he lets us go. It's like the kids swimming. Like God will let us go for a little bit. Like for we can learn how to paddle through the hard waters, and all of a sudden God, but he's never gonna let us drown. He's always gonna have us there. I feel like all the time God waits till like I'm like almost drowning. Then he picks me up. Like, God, you couldn't pick me up like 30 seconds sooner before I swallow all that water. But he's like, yo, that swallowing that water is what's gonna make you kick harder next time to avoid the drowning, to avoid the pitfall, to avoid whatever. Like you gotta sometimes get hit with some of that.
That Holy Spirit doggy paddle.
yeah. Holy Spirit doggy paddle. Aye. That's funny. Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's good. I know what you think, chat. Good convo. Anybody enjoyed it?
Yeah, what's going on, chat?
Yeah, man. And just being honest and always transparent, man, like I always try to be. It's like, trust me, we all really do go through that, man. We all go through hard times. There's times that I'm like, even with this live stream where I'm like, I ain't doing this live stream. Like, who am I to be talking up there? Who am I? Like, I ain't no pastor. And I try to tell people all that all the time. If you guys are coming here thinking like we're like this pastor level of discernment or teaching or anything like that, nah, go talk to your pastor. We ain't now replacing no pastor. We're just two brothers living and walking the faith with you, alongside you, and struggling the same stuff as you. We don't have that high calling of pastoralship and none of that. And you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. And that's a lot more on the plate that, that's not an easy call, man. Respect. Not an easy call. I promise you. So always go to your pastor for what you need if you have that relationship with them. And hopefully you do. If you don't, you know, that's where it get tough. But hopefully there's somebody who God has put in your life for that. You know, build those connections with people. You don't have to battle alone. And sometimes even with me and you, bro, we don't talk for a minute. We don't talk for a while. And it's like, yo, we both been struggling. And it's back at the right time, whatever. And it's like, yeah, we back. We good.
Amen. That's true.
You know what I mean?
But listen, I want to explain one concept real quick before we really, really close the door on this. And it came to my attention because I've heard it a couple times. So I'm going to try to flesh this out. But, you know, with the whole Lecrae thing and, you know, trying to be the best stewards of the gospel and showing love and grace when executing that, I've heard it been said that we also have to have certain boundaries, right? What I mean is that we owe everybody love, but we don't owe everybody access. Um, and even Jesus had boundaries within his disciples. Like when he went to the Garden of Gethsemane, who was it? James, Peter, John.
Yeah.
He took only those specific disciples with him as he prayed, right? And so there was an intimacy with them. They had access, but not with all the disciples did he have that. So I think it's something to learn by, where it's like, hey, even with family, with best friends and all that, like if somebody's not acting correctly, especially when you're trying to disciple somebody, I said, especially baby Christian stuff, like, we also need to create certain boundaries where it's like, hey, I'm going to show you love. I'm going to speak to you. We're going to talk this through. I'm going to teach. But because their character, their reputation, what they can be struggling with can also hurt or scorn your character and relationship, right? So you have to be careful. So, right, everybody, we give love, but we don't always give access. Access is earned through an intimate relationship. And once you see the brother or sister become more fruitful, then access can be granted, right? I think that also needs to be said.
I agree with that. I think that's beautiful. And I think like everything we say, none of it is a blanketed statement. It's that, and that's what people have an issue with. I feel like the intellectuals are now just trying to like grab something and just like put it over everything. And that's where you got to have discernment with every relationship, with every person. Everyone's different. Everyone has certain different level of access. You might be able to approach them this way, might be able to build a relationship with them that way. Everything looks different. So stay fluid, stay open, stay close to the word, stay close to God, and understand the word, study it so that you really know it, and then approach everyone, even your relationships, right? Your spouse should be somebody who you connect with the most, somebody who's your helper, somebody who's there for you, right? Not everybody should have that level of access, like Isaac's saying, that your spouse does, right? Like, nah, like there's certain levels. And you should have boundaries. And Jesus did go off and pray sometimes dolo. He's like, all 12 of y'all stay right here. I'm gonna go and pray and do my thing or whatever. So it's like that's where it all comes with maturity, with growth, with understanding. Like it's not all just life isn't as simple as just like, oh, follow these 3 steps for every process and now you have it all figured out. No, you gotta have the Holy Spirit guiding you through all these things. Study the word, know the revealed will of God, which is the word, what he say there, and then build that relationship through prayer and walk life like that. But like, God, you guide me. You're my shepherd, right? You're leading me beside still waters. You're leading me in green pastures, wherever I'm going, even through the valley of the shadow of death, right? It switches from the green to the still waters to the most darkest. Wherever I'm at, Lord, you continue to guide me, and my enemies are surrounding me. That's the other side of it. From chilling still waters, enemies everywhere, pits, whatever. God, you're with me, but we got to have that. And I think I've mentioned this in the podcast before, which is my favorite thing that I've ever learned in my walk with Christ is the daily bread. God doesn't give us strength for tomorrow today. He only gives us enough till the end of the night, till bedtime. And then when we wake up, we should be seeking again the manna, the cloud, whatever guides us each day.
I need a new muffin.
Refresh. Right. Sometimes like, I prayed fire and had an amazing week last week for church on Sunday, and I'm still trying to run off the fuel from Sunday, but it's Wednesday, bro. Right. You have to wake up every morning and refine that fuel. Wake up every morning and seek God in the morning or whatever, and rebuild that walk to go through that day. You don't need to go off of yesterday's strength, and you don't have to worry about tomorrow's stresses or worries. Just one day at a time, walking with him. If we could walk with that mentality of like that daily mindset, walking with that's what Adam and Eve was in the garden, right? Adam was walking daily with God. Man, let's go walk daily. And that one time all of a sudden he don't know how to walk. Yo, Adam, where you at? Oh, I'm naked. Who told you naked, bro? Hold up. So hope something happened here, right? Our relationship or all of that got messed up. So started stressing, started worrying, but if we can learn how to connect daily, none of it is a blanketed statement. How we approach people, how we talk to people, how much we allow people in our lives access. You have to go person by person basis, and you have to let God lead you in that. And you got to have enough maturity and wisdom in the word to trust that God will give you the right discernment in those moments. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you have to love people, man. I think that's another thing.
love, man, love rules all.
I think there's some people in the chat, but like, yeah, people, it's just, they're unlovable. You have to love them. You know, that's commandment by God. I think one other thing I wanted, like, had came to my mind while we were speaking was, for me, when I speak to somebody new, stranger, or somebody I don't know, you know, somebody trying to speak with, like, there's this thing that I do now where it's like, I have to know where you're at, right? You probably understand this, P. Like, I have to know where you're at a little bit. And so the only way to get to know where you're at is trying to figure out your understanding, what you think of God, your faith, and all that. And that's what I think you were trying to mention, is that it's not a step-by-step process when it comes to speaking to somebody. You have to know where they're at. You got to meet them. You got to meet their understanding. And you only get there by talking to them, because everybody individually is so different. And so the same way you spoke to him or spoke to her is not going to work for these other two. And the only way to figure that out is by speaking to them. So that's kind of like what I've tried to do more of in conversation, is trying to see where they're at in their walk and go from there. I find that so much more beneficial. They either came from a Christian home, they don't know nothing of God, they know some concepts of God, they heard of Jesus, they don't really know what he's about. Like, you just got to understand where they're at with it, if we're going to be effective. So,
Amen, bro. Love it, dude.
Amen.
Love it. Wise words. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm trying to see how it feels ending it earlier because of people's
blame him,
because of people's attention span or whatever. And we respect your Sunday and everything like that. We want to see how that goes. I don't want to give too much. I know usually podcasts last about 45 minutes. We're way over that. Yeah. And then we're not trying to be a podcast. Like I always say, we're not a podcast. We're a live stream. It's a different beast. But until we get to that level of engagement and chat and stuff like that, right? I know people might just be listening or whatever. We want to respect that time too. So we're trying to find like a middle ground. So I feel like we've gone a little bit over like the 45 usual, which is fine. And we don't ever have to just stop but I also do want to test it. I'm dying to test it.
Well, real quick, if we're closing,
yeah,
can we get some feedback from the chat, like upon what P is saying? Like, this stream,
is this a good amount? Is this good? Perfect? Chilling?
Okay, we got one boo. Okay, I respect the boo.
Yeah, you could give us boo too, which lets us know you want us to keep going.
Exact criticism.
Sure. This is what we're looking for. We don't know, because we really don't know. We're out here and we're just like, is 2 hours too long? 2 hours and 20 minutes is usually our number. So
come on, chat.
This is an hour less. We respect your time. You know what I mean? But it's also less to think about. It's easier to take away something, like one topic you left with, you understood what we said. And what we're gonna do, hopefully in the future, is wants to hear more. What we want to do in the future, like right now, I think would be dope to like, all right, let's play some Bible trivia. Right, we got the lesson, we got things. Let's play Bible trivia, or what did you call it? I forget what it was called. The game that people could log in.
There's like a Kahoot thing where people log in, and
if we can do a Kahoot right now and live stream that, I think that'll be amazing, and then anybody could join in or whatever.
You already got us used to it.
What are you trying to say? So I know it was rough in the beginning there. No, I'm just kidding. That's cool. That's dope. Yeah, so I want to start playing games on here after maybe like a 45-minute little topic that we cover or something. I think that'd be dope. I want to have fun with you guys in the chat. I want us to be like a good time, not just you guys already went to church. You guys already heard the whole preaching. Then you have another word, and you know what I'm saying? We're giving everything to you on Sunday. Wednesday, you got nothing left.
P, they're addicts. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know if all that makes sense. So
we're gonna start playing Mario on here.
Mario Kart. Yo, I'm down to play Mario Kart one day. Whatever. See how it goes. I'm down. We could do whatever. We could try whatever, because that's usually what a live stream is more of. So I don't know. Y'all tell us. But we love you guys, man. I pray that God use our words you know, in spite of us, in spite of our, you know what I mean, our shortcomings, which we all have, that if God does want us to do this and God wants us to continue this or has this as a plan of his, then, you know, let him do what he wants to do with it. Why are you closing it?
I try to warn him, Jack.
He did try to warn me. I seem like I'm wrong for sure. Esther said, I like when you guys hit specific topics.
Keeps it going.
Keeps it going, right? Versus when we're just like, don't have topic.
Okay, but if we do that, is one fleshed out topic good enough, or is it two fleshed out topics?
Right. Because I feel like we fleshed out that first one. I don't want to start just repeating. Whereas like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I think we covered everything that we needed to cover for that first one. Made enough sense. Took different situations. We had some stories, and I don't want to beat a dead horse either. You know, I feel like, yeah, you got it. I'm not gonna talk dumb to you guys. Like,
so we did our intro, and then we fleshed out a topic. We're floating around 8:30-ish. So
right, hour and 20.
Topic, right? If we did another topic, we would probably cruise.
But my question is, would the second topic make them forget the first topic? And plus, the preaching that they heard today. You know what I'm saying? They all went to church like, yo, this is three.
It's that cognitive load P worries about.
Correct. I do. I definitely do. This is where the fun part comes in. I think this is where we got.
You know what it is? You know what we're dealing with?
This is where the chat would be like just vibing. You know,
this is the issue. They're used to the scrolling and a lot of things.
Right.
Calling them out. And it's like, of course we can keep them going forever. Yeah, let it go. Because, you know, I'm used to all this media and content. How much media and content are you really like locking in, you know?
Right. How much you remember?
Right. How much you remember? SP's point, by the way, you know, which I agree. I think there is some level to that. But we hope that the topics we take on do stick in some form.
See, my thought is the people who didn't answer, they're just like, hurry up and end it already. You something to do tomorrow. Everybody keeps saying, yo, don't end it. Then the other half is like, I don't know. But and again, we've always said from the beginning for a live stream, you don't have to stay around the whole time. Like, but I feel like some people feel like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Don't overthink it. I like that. I think sometimes that could be an issue too. We do overthink it.
Two people said don't overthink it.
Dang, yeah. Hey, I'm guilty of that. I can't tell you how many times I try to make a decision and I overthink it, and I think
that's so funny.
And I can never make a decision because I'm just like, I'm thinking every scenario all the time. So I'm definitely guilty of that. I take that.
Jess makes a good point, but this is interactive versus listening to it, preaching, more engaging. That
cool. This is what we want. But I feel like when we're doing the first path and we're just talking the lesson, it's almost like a teaching. We're not as engaging. We're like engaging. Now the chat's talking to us, and this is what we pictured. Like this is what we want. Maybe the second half to be more like this. You guys tell us what's going on, what topics, or like I said, I think a Kahoot would be dope. I think a Kahoot would be real dope to try. How do we do that? Put it up, bro. How do we do a Kahoot?
I pay for a subscription because I teach and I use it often.
Okay,
I can use it here, no problem. But we'd actually have to kind of build that.
Okay.
So.
I don't know what it is. So yeah,
like say if we come with a certain topic next week and we build a Kahoot based on, you know, the material covered or, you know, topic covered. But you know, with a Kahoot, it's more of, it's not opinion, it's more of like answers. So who answers the fastest and who gets it right. So but then it starts feeling like class to me. But the thing is, maybe we don't do it to the topic. Maybe we just have a Kahoot that's standalone and it's Bible trivia.
All right, that's what we're going to try real quick. Hold on. I'm willing to try things. I'm telling you. Hold up. And if something comes up in like what's that called? In the sponsors and the ads, that's nothing to do with me. Forgive me.
I mean, I might be able to give you my login.
Hold on. Open it. Nah, I don't want to do Kahoot right now. I don't know how to do that.
But I mean, in the future, yeah.
I don't know how to do none of that. You got to set that up. I don't even know what a Kahoot is. I just heard you say it, and I'm like, wait, hold on. Google Chrome might not be able to record contents of your screen. Oh, I'd have to quit and reopen. I can't share my screen. Let's see. Can I share? Is it showing anything?
No.
Yeah, it is. It is right here.
Oh, there it is.
Bam. Ready? We got to close this off. Can I zoom in this way? Did it zoom in for y'all?
Yeah. Oh, this is
Bible
Jeopardy.
trivia. Jeopardy. Let's go. Let's see what you got, Isaac. Which one you want, bro?
Nah.
New Testament in the
for
beginning.
200.
Yo, we're gonna test Isaac's wisdom.
Nah.
Come on, bro. Where you going? We're gonna do fill in the blanks. Which
This
one
is
you
hard
want?
to read for me. Let me move this way. New
Which one?
Testament for 200, bro. Keep it easy.
Which one? Which one?
New Testament for
New
200.
Testament. Come on, bro. That is the easiest one. Let's do it. All right. Which apostle lost his sight temporarily after he saw a vision of Jesus? Paul. There you go, bro.
All right. I got some skills, y'all.
All right.
He's
All these
next.
ads are coming up. I'm gonna go with, let's see. Laws. I'm gonna go crazy. Laws for 400. That sounds hard, bro. These ads is going nuts. They're making money off of us. If a person sinned through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, what were they to bring for a sacrifice?
Oh, that's a good one.
A ram without blemish, I think. A female sheep, a young ewe, a goat without marks. I think it's either a goat or a ram. I want to say a ram without blemish. Hey,
Ooh,
we know the law up in here. All right, go ahead, bro. What you got?
Let's fill in the blanks. For 400 is terrible. Why'd I pick that?
400?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. Fill in the blanks. Now the Lord of blank himself give you blank always by all means. I think I know this one.
Now the Lord of grace himself, joy himself, love himself, give peace?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the right one. That's your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Hey. Yeah. They said, yo, we haven't missed one, bro. We're Bible scholars.
I ain't touching 1,000, bro.
All right, let's go. I'll do 1,000. In the beginning, though, that's wild.
Go. You just talked about Adam and Eve.
Yeah, I should have mentioned it. All right, let's do it. On day 3, what did God do? I should definitely know this. On the 3rd day, God gathered together the waters into seas, created light. If you notice in chat, put it in chat. Divided the waters, divided the light. I feel like day 1 is the morning and night, or day 2, one of those early ones. Gathered together the waters, created the lights in the firmament, divided the waters under the firmament. I'm gonna go with divided the waters. Divided the waters, gathered together the waters into the sea. Man, why did I choose this $1,000 one?
I told you.
Created light. I'm gonna go with divided the waters. No,
it was
gathered together the waters into the seas. All right, I was the first one to get one wrong. Boo. All right, what you want, bro?
Oh man, let's go back to the New Testament. Let's get crazy. It's New Testament 600.
Bro, it's crazy. The New Testament is the easiest one. I'm over here doing in the beginning for 1,000. This man said, let's get crazy. New Testament.
That's right in the middle, bro.
I give it to you. Let's see.
Read that.
On which missionary journey did Paul visit Macedonia? Yeah, that's tough.
Oh.
At least you only got 3 options. So you got like.
I'm just going to go second, bro. I don't know.
This is what I talk about. Chance. You got a 33%.
You're a Paul specialist. Yeah, you take this. I call audible.
Nah, you already said second. Look at you, bro. Let's go.
I got it.
33% chance works every time. All right, let's do Mosaic law, Levitical instructions. I'm going easy. 200. How was one to identify whether a prophet had spoken in the name of the Lord or not? Based on his past credentials, by the claim of having the Holy Spirit, that's not one for sure. By the fulfillment of the word spoken.
That might be
based upon the number of his followers. It would definitely be one of these two. But based on the fulfillment. Yeah, that might be wrong. That's his resume. My bad. So yeah, we going with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's do timeline 200.
I don't know. How's chat feeling about this? I can't see chat.
It'd be cool if chat can kind of jump in on this.
Divided the waters. You said you had that one. Okay.
Did. Timeline 200, bro. Hit it.
Which one is it?
Timeline 200. We haven't hit it yet.
Okay, you bet. Bro, why you keep going to the bottom?
I don't know. I don't know what timeline is about.
According to scripture, what caused Solomon to turn his heart from God to follow other gods? That's easy. You got this.
Wait, so Solomon turned his heart from God to follow other gods.
Yep. Why? That's easy. He's
He was
known
led,
for this.
he was led astray by other religious believers.
Mm-mm.
God's spirit departed from him. This is Old Testament.
Yep. Chat, you know chat?
He
I know.
lost his belief in God completely. I think it was his wives, bro.
It was. I think so. That boy
Wow.
fell in love with the wrong women.
It's always the women. No, I'm gonna stop.
Always the women. You heard him. You heard him, chat.
I never finished that.
Clip it. Clip it. Make it go viral.
Well, it's not
Preacher
always the women.
says always women.
It's not always.
That's funny.
Just sometimes.
All right, I'm going with. All right, I'm gonna take all these before you take it. New Testament 400.
Let's just say, yo.
Who was the disciple known as the one
Why?
whom loved Jesus? That's John. Easy. Bam.
Johnny boy.
My boy John.
Meet us outside.
You got beef in the chat, bro.
800 New Testament. Let's see.
Oh, you going for it. All right. Who was killed when he led 400 men in revolt? Ooh, not as easy as you thought, bro.
It has to be the bottom two. Right?
Ananias
It is?
or
It is?
Thaddeus, huh?
I think it's Thaddeus.
How do you say that? Theodas. Theodas.
Thaddeus.
That's what you went with?
I guess.
Yo, this man's guessing game is on fire.
Well, it was
exceptional. This dude can't guess wrong right now. All right, then I'm going for 1,000. So you
Let chat do this one.
All right. Whom did Paul instruct to prepare a guest room for him?
Who is it, chat?
Who is it, chat? This is on y'all.
Whom did
if y'all
Paul
get this wrong, if y'all get this wrong, Eunice had the wives. She knew that one.
They don't know. They're Googling.
Oh, don't use chat. Don't use chat GPT.
GPT is about to answer for them.
Whom did Paul instruct to prepare a guest room for him?
We're going with the first answer. First one who puts in the chat. Let's see who's a winner.
But you can't cheat.
No. God.
I'm about to answer. I think they're taking too long.
Nah, bro. We'll give it some time. Zoom in. They wanted you to zoom in.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can't see?
I could see. I didn't know if they could see or not. Oh, they're on phones, bro. You really got to exaggerate.
Oh, yeah, that's true. My bad.
Either
Yesenia chose 3 of the 4. Yesenia's on your level. Just guess one of these. Yeah. If you gotta tell us which one. Luke, all right.
Judas going with Luke.
No,
incorrect.
Philemon. I was gonna guess Timothy, so I would have got it wrong.
You gotta zoom in every time. It's like booting
back
out.
So we gotta find a better screen. If we forget about the mobile users, our fault, chat.
Let's go in. Oh yeah, I think you picked this time.
No, I think that was me.
No, that was chat.
Oh, that was chat. I'm going in the beginning for 200. I'm going easy. Of all the people mentioned in the Bible, which one lived the longest? I know this because of Ishmael, Methuselah.
Ooh.
Methuselah.
I would have got that wrong.
Ishmael, you taught me. We had a Bible study once.
Let's go Laws 600.
Laws for 600. What happened in the year of Jubilee, bro? And they're not talking about the chicken spot. What you got? Slaves could buy their freedom. Special atonement sacrifices were to be made. Extra fields were to be planted. Each person would return to his property. The year of Jubilee.
Second one?
Jubilee, special atonement.
No.
Each person will return to his property.
I didn't know that one.
All right, let's go with in the beginning for 600.
You love those.
What was the first animal left?
I'm picking these.
What was the first animal that left Noah's Ark?
Oh, actually.
A pigeon that left?
That left?
Yeah, pigeon. Oh, I got hit with the ad.
Bro.
Incorrect.
It
was a raven. I knew it was a bird.
That was
knew it had wings.
I'll take the 800. Let's see. In the beginning.
The Lord said to Noah, of every clean beast thou shalt take thee by blank, the male and his female, and of the beasts that are not clean by blank, the male and his female. That's easy, dog.
2 twos.
Yeah, exactly. Nope. 7's twos. We suck.
What is that? What is
Of every clean animal thou shalt take to thee by 7's, the male and his female, of the beasts that are not clean by 2's.
Oh, we're not alone in this.
That's
They said
wild.
two-
That's wrong.
Ishmael, hold on. Ishmael's laughing, so he has to know why 7s.
7's. Come on.
Ishmael, explain 7s.
I've never been more confident than an answer in that. Holy.
That was bizarre.
Oh, Esther got a raven. Come on.
Yeah.
And Ishmael had it. Okay.
Pete
The
thought he
Bible
was in New York.
scholars. Esther
He
had
said pigeon.
Philemon too. Yo, Esther's teaching the next class. Esther, you're on stream next week.
Clean animal. So they wanted 7s of the cleans?
Right, but I guess he's not putting them on the ark, right?
I guess.
7 and 2. You learn something new every day. I don't know what
like
he's
this
doing with
game.
those. He's like sacrificing them or what? Because I don't think
know.
7 animals went into the ark. On the ark? Yo, my mind's blown right now. I don't know the Bible at all. All right, I'm going with the last one. So Isaac don't take the easy ones. How old was Moses when the floodwaters came up upon the face of the earth? Yo, how is this easy? I don't know how old he was. How old was Moses?
I have a rule that
when
I
the
always
floodwaters of Noah. How old was Moses? Moses was. He's got to be none of these.
No. Don't listen to me. I'm just saying that I have a rule that I used to always go with the one that I said that all the time.
I feel like Ish would know this. All right, I'm gonna go with 600.
My guess is the 300s, but I could be wrong.
700.
I never paid attention to this.
Well, no, that would make him older because the flood waters came upon the earth.
My wife said I'm losing, and I just studied Genesis.
Don't worry, I'm losing too. Man, I'm gonna go with none of these. I think you're right. Yeah,
unclean.
none of these. My boy Isaac came through.
See, it works.
All right, what you picking, bro?
All right, let's do fill in the blanks for 600.
All right. For this is the love of God, that we keep his blank, and his commandments are not blank. These fill in the blanks are kind of crazy.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his promises, and his commandments are not impossible.
That's what you pick?
His commandments are not easy. His commandments are not hard. That we keep, this is the love of God, that we keep his ways, and his commandments are not hard.
I know which one I would choose, but I'm not sure if it's right. You tell me which one you want, and I'll tell you which one I would pick.
This is the love of God, that we keep his promises. No, it's his promises, not.
Yeah, we keep his promises. Or we keep his commandments, or we keep his ways.
You're just saying all of them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm letting you.
And
you're
his
right. It
commandments
is. Yeah.
are not.
He's struggling,
impossible.
Chat. Pray for him. Give him the
think-
answer, chat.
think
What
it's
is it?
A. I think it's A.
You said
But
you
it
said
could be the
last one.
Commandments.
Last
Commandments.
one. Esther said too. Esther's been on
My
fire. I
goodness.
don't know.
All right, let's go to the last one.
All right. I was gonna say ways and hard, but let's see if chat got it. Yeah. Esther's coming on next stream.
Oh,
For
Ishmael
sure.
put the verse we never read.
Which one?
Genesis
Genesis
7.
2. You are to take with you 7 pairs of every clean animal, male and mate. 2 of every kind of unclean animal, and 7 pairs of every kind. 7 pairs though? What is that? 14 animals?
That's wild.
She put stage fright. Sorry. You got to teach the next class. You know all this information.
That's wild.
I'm going with fill in the blanks for 200.
Oh,
Yeah, I never
man.
knew that. That's wild, right? So they taught me the Bible wrong. This whole time I've been reading the Ark wrong.
Oh, this is how we learn.
Fill in the name. The king Nebuchadnezzar made blank a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon. Oh, yeah, that's easy. My boy Danny in the house. 200. Daniel's son.
All right, let's do timeline for 400.
Where's that one at? Oh, yeah, we've been ignoring timeline, huh? According to Psalm 113, how often was the name of the Lord to be praised? All morning long, every day of the year, each waking hour, or from sunrise to sunset? Just pick a guess, bro, because you don't miss.
I'm going to go with what I like.
Go ahead. You're going to get it right, obviously.
Nah.
I promise you will.
I mean, his praise is on our lips always, man. So what does waking hour mean?
Not the hours that you're not awake. So each waking hour.
But that's almost the same as sunrise to sunset.
Almost. You could be up past sunset, though. If you're awake, you got to be
So that's
praised.
the closest to it, I believe. So I think each waking hour.
Each waking hour?
Yeah, all that you're awake.
Oh, from sunrise to sunset, your other one.
That's what I wanted.
Everybody guessing luck runs out, bro.
All right, we do one for chat. Let's see.
Yeah, what do you want, chat?
Chat, what do you want?
Mosaic laws.
Maybe zoom in a bit.
I know. I feel like they can't see it on the mobile. We got timeline, laws.
The tops are filled. We did the tops.
Those two are done. All right, so we got these 4 left.
First one in the chat. Timeline 1000. They ain't scared.
Dang. Of
Let's
course.
go.
The Jeopardy whiz. What scripture was Daniel reading when he had his third vision from the Lord? All right, well, we can know it's not.
So A, Revelation.
Revelation. Definitely not. Daniel wasn't alive when that came.
B, Isaiah.
D,
C, Deuteronomy.
or D,
and
Jeremiah.
D, Jeremiah.
Let us know.
What scripture was Daniel reading?
I would have picked, I think, either Isaiah or Deuteronomy.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Isaiah. But it's what chat says. It's what Esther says. It's what Esther says, to be exact.
Esther's Googling at this point. I think she's just chat GPTing all her answers. It has to be the third one, Esther. What you think? Deuteronomy. Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those two. Isaiah or Deuteronomy. Was Isaiah before or after Daniel? Probably after, so it has to be Deuteronomy. Duet. All right, let's do it. Chat said it.
Deuteronomy.
Vamos a ver. Where'd it go? How do I get to it? All right, here we go. Oh, Jeremiah.
I was thinking sneaky on that one. I think it was. Oh wow! It tells you to go see Daniel 9 too.
Yeah, that's dope. All right, where we at?
Is it my pick or your pick?
Yeah, your pick. What you want?
Oh man, let the Mosaic Law 400. Fine.
All right. Where was the Ark of the Testimony located within the tabernacle?
Where was the Ark of the Testimony located within the tabernacle?
In the inner court, in the most holy place, on the north side, or against the candlestick?
I think it's in the most holy, bro.
That's what I would say, I think. Or in the inner court, one of those two.
Bang,
hey! Fire.
That was a 3-pointer. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to go with, I don't want laws no more. I think I want timeline for 800. I need to make some money. I got to catch up here.
Esther failed us.
Where'd you go, Esther? When do the events in the book of Amos take place? Oh, I'm cooked. I'm super cooked.
When did the events of the book of Amos take place?
2 years before the earthquake, 2 years after the earthquake, 2 years before the flood, or 2 years after the flood. So Amos is definitely earthquake, and I'm going to go with after. No, before.
2 years after the earthquake. Read Amos 1:1.
2 years before, right? Just read Amos, bro. You would know.
Read the first verse of the book, bro.
Right. Dirty. This game is insulting me. Wow. All right, what you got, bro?
I like this fill in the blanks thing.
We got 9 left.
800.
All right, let's do it. Complete the verse. For by grace are ye saved through faith.
Not
of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, and that not of yourself. It is the gift of God, which is the earnest of our inheritance.
You got to be the first one.
That one, I think, is this one.
Wait, really? It is a
Let's
gift
see.
of God? But you always told me.
Let's see.
Oh.
Yep, I was right. Not of yourself is the gift of God.
What am I thinking of then?
It continues with so that no one should boast. Eventually, it gets to that point.
Oh, it's in there. It's just
It's
later.
in there. Yeah.
Ah,
It's
okay.
somewhere. Yeah.
That's my bad, chat.
I'm gonna do Mosaic laws. Let's go timeline 600, the last one. How many years did Eli judge Israel?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go 23 years.
Jordan.
40? 23 or 40? 23.
I
Was he
can't help
young?
you.
Should I go 40?
I can't help you, bro.
40 years?
Chat might help you.
23. Oh, it was 40. I knew it.
Your guessing is absolutely split.
All right, we gotta cut all this off from the live stream. We can't show how
Oh,
many wrong
man.
answers I've gotten. Holy.
Let's go easy. Lost for 200. I need some redemption.
All right, which Israelite tribe did God give the responsibility of taking down and setting up the tabernacle? Easy.
Which Israelite tribe?
Yeah, the children of Benjamin, the Levites, the tribe of Manasseh, or the children of Dan. Manasseh.
Levites.
Yeah, the Levites. Exactly.
Levites.
Easy.
Yeah.
You said it was easy, bro. All right, we only got 6 left. I'm gonna go fill in the blanks for
Two
1,000.
for chat, 2 for us.
All right. Who are kept by the blank of God through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time? Who are kept by the grace of God? No, by the power.
We're
We
kept
lost
by the power.
1,000.
Well, power and grace in that situation just seems synonymous.
I read a different translation. No, I'm just kidding.
synonymous, like similar.
I read a different translation. All right, bro, don't judge me.
All right, I guess Mosaic for 600.
What offering required women to drink bitter water?
Ooh,
It got real quiet. My brain couldn't even think. Like, I don't even know.
the offering of jealousy? I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that's a
first
thing.
fruits.
The sin
bro.
offering, I would think, maybe not.
I mean, a
The
sin
offering of first
offering is usually blood, innocent blood sacrifice, right?
Correct.
A burnt offering, maybe, but no, that don't mean it required a woman to drink. I would say
Yeah.
first fruits.
All right, let's do it. Oh, the offering of jealousy.
What is that?
I don't know. They get jealous, they got to drink bitter water. We better watch out with them.
Yeah, I knew that one. Ishmael knew it. Jealous. We had question marks.
That's funny.
Ishmael knew it.
All right, chat. Which one you want? Last 4.
You got to drink bitter stuff when you're jealous?
That's what makes that jealousy go away, bro. The bitter taste.
Whew.
I wonder if that's where the phrase came from. The bitter taste in your mouth.
All right, it's you or it's chat?
I think it's chat.
Esther choose. We need Esther redemption. Now we only got laws and Mosaic.
Both laws. We left all the laws for the end.
We clearly got an issue with law.
Yeah.
1,000 on which one?
See, y'all wanted us to stay longer, and this is what ended up happening. So I blame y'all, chat. Trying to let y'all go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Now you got stuck learning about laws, Mosaic laws.
Mosaic law or laws?
1,000, she said. Just pick 1,000. All right, we'll go with 1,000. Mosaic. In the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be burnt, I think maybe, and his head bare. And he shall put a covering upon his, it's not burnt, lower lip. Maybe. And shall cry, unclean, unclean. Shall put a covering upon his forehead. His clothes shall be washed. Put a covering upon his forehead. I think it's washed in forehead. What y'all think? Changed. Shall be changed.
I mean,
I know. His rent.
covering is kind of like the word. What are we covering up? It's either face or eyes, I would imagine. Why would you cover an upper lip versus a lower lip? I feel like
and
those are both out.
Yeah, that sounds weird. And shall put a covering upon his eyes. I don't know.
His clothes shall be changed. I think I think changed in the eyes, but chat, it's up to you.
What do you want, chat? Just put A, B, C, or D.
Last one.
Last
went
one?
with the
All right,
last.
let's go. Oh,
What?
it was Rent. We weren't even
Upper
close.
lip?
That was the last one.
Leviticus
Rent
13:45.
shall be rent. What is his clothes shall be rent? What does that even mean? How are we speaking like this?
I gotta look this up.
This is King James Bible.
What was the verse? Leviticus 13:5.
I clicked off of it. I don't even remember. All right, Mosaic Law 800.
And the priest shall examine him on the seventh day in his eyes. Disease is checked, and disease has not spread the skin. Then the priest shall shut him forever in 7 days. The priest shall examine him again on the seventh day, and if his disease area has faded, then the priest shall pronounce him clean. He shall wash his clothes, but it is the eruption. And that's
they said rent, though. It was rent his clothes, is what it said. The answer was.
Nah, ESV is using different words.
That's what I said, different translation.
That's
if an ox gored a slave, how many shekels of gold was the ox owner to pay the master of the slave? 30.
It's always 9. I told you it's always that one, bro.
You right, bro. All right, last two. Which one you want?
I'm doing 800.
800. All right, what sin did the leaders of the tribe of Manasseh, mighty men of valor, and famous men commit?
What sin?
They kept the idol from the people they fought. They prophesied falsely in God's name. They sacrificed their children to false gods, where they began worshiping other gods.
A or D?
A or D? Which one? Pick.
D. Fine.
D?
Yeah.
Yes. Yo, this man's guessing games. Top notch.
You know it's funny? My wife and my son always play trivia before he goes to sleep.
Oh, for real?
I've only engaged in like 3 or 4 of them as they did this little tradition. But my wife is the best guesser.
You've learned well then.
She is.
It rubbed off. That's funny. All right, where did God tell Moses, Aaron, and his sons to pitch their tents? Easy, right? That's Mount Sinai.
Wait. This one's for chat. It's the last one for chat.
Oh, sorry. Don't listen to me, chat. It's not Mount Sinai.
If you get this one right, you've won it.
You win it all. This is for all the beans.
If not, add 15 minutes onto the study.
You're saying you said not today, apparently. That's funny.
Add 15 more minutes to the study time if we get this one wrong.
Nah, you wildin'. People gotta go to bed. They got work tomorrow, bro. The last one, chat. First one to answer. You gotta win it for chat. If not, then Isaac's gonna be the winner because I definitely didn't answer as many as Isaac did. So if y'all want to be Isaac right now, you gotta answer correct. And I'm gonna let you Google it.
Let's go. Let's choose the last one, Esther says.
Oh, the east of the tabernacle. All right, Esther, you might have cost it. Are you gonna end on your hot streak? Yo! There's no way, dude. She's gotta come teach the class. There's no way.
Very good.
I thought it was for sure Mount Sinai. How you even know east of the tabernacle?
Israel would have lost. Israel went for C.
All right, we won $7,000. How do we collect that?
I said. All right, that was it.
Where do we go?
P needs that money.
Where do we go to collect the 7,000? We split it with the chat. Everybody involved. Man. Nah, that was good though. Good job, chat.
That was awesome.
Next time we're gonna do what? A Kahoot? You said something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it'll be dope. Sounds fun.
It's more active live. Boom, boom, boom. You can see people's names. It'll be dope.
Fire. Dope.
That's it.
Did you guys like that better though? At least having some chill time, some play time a little bit.
That was fun.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Humbling.
We had a lesson.
Humbling, but fun.
We had a lesson. We had a good time. You know what I mean? We vibing.
Very good. That was great. Ishmael said. Cool. Very cool.
Cool.
You know, it's funny. The whole concept of Jeopardy, I wanted to use it in like, you remember what we did this Christmas, the auction? I kind of wanted to create like something like that where you answer questions and there was contestants and then the person takes the prize home.
Dope.
Put a lot of my thinking into that, but
Cool. Everybody said fun. That was great. Cool. Lots of fun. Fire. Love
God
it.
bless you, Chad. God bless this week. You guys are on our hearts. We're back in motion. So I don't think there's anything in the future that's going to stop us from streaming. So we'll be here.
The enemy's the only one who's going to stop us. I'm just kidding.
That's true.
The enemy can't stop us. Remember, live daily, seeking God's presence every day. Refresh that, renew it in the morning.
Speak and evangelize with love.
Amen. We love you guys.
Catch you later.
Peace.
Peace.